Hello students, I am Aniket Kirsch, your computer teacher, and today we will start this employability skills, right? As you know, your book is divided into, your curriculum is divided into two parts, right? Part A and Part B. Part A is employability skills and Part B is technical, right? In Part B, whatever we have studied till now, that is Unit 1, IT and IT enabled services, all these things of Unit 1, this is technical part, and secondary, that keyboarding skills, all that is the second unit of Part B. Unit 1 and Unit 2 of Part B we have completed, right? Now let's start Part A, employability skills. So as you can see, these all topics are there in under employability skills Part A. So first unit is communication skills 1, then self management skills 1, basic ICT skills 1, entrepreneurial skills 1, career skills 1. So why it is written 1 because second part is in year class 10th, right? So this year you will see the basics, and in second year in class 10th you will see the advanced related topics under this categories. So let's start. So I will send this NCERT to your in your WhatsApp group also. So Unit 1 Part A, communication skills. Let's start it. So what all things we will see from the term itself, you will understand that in communication skills, what all things are concerned related to communication, right? So let's start. Introduction. Name of the chapter is communication skills, right? So communication skills are those skills which are needed to speak and write properly. Obviously, speak and write is very important. A person who is able to speak appropriately, whistling, maintaining eye contact with the audience, used varied vocabulary and articulate speech to suit the need of the audience is generally said to be an effective speaker, right? A person who is able to maintain eye contact. So eye contact is very important. One of the main factor, eye contact, varied vocabulary, okay, whatever words the speaker will use, and articulate speech. Articulate means very clear speech, very clear, right? So eye contact, varied vocabulary and articulate speech, these are all the points or the all the characters of any good speaker, right? Similarly, an effective writer, this all whatever these terms we have just seen, eye contact and varied vocabulary, articulate speech is related to speaker. In the same way, while anybody is writing, okay, so what is the skills of the effective writer? First is, he should be able to use written words in various styles and techniques, right, to communicate his or her message. So that ideas to the readers, right? So his your words is very it's very important. One should have the ability to listen carefully and write and speak clearly in any situation. Therefore, good reading, writing, speaking and listening skills are essential for effective communication, right? Therefore, in communication skill, whether you are reading, writing, speaking or listening, all these skills are very essential for anybody to have a effective communication, right? As a student, you may study any language, but it is important that you are able to read, write, speak and listen well in order to communicate properly, right? Whether it is Hindi, whether it is English or in a local language like that of Marathi, Bengali, but the thing is that you should be able to read, speak, write and listen it in a well manner, okay? Now, more than one language can help around. Learning English can help you to communicate with people who understand English. Besides the language, you have been exposed to speaking the language from early childhood, right? So to speak in English, to communicate with anybody in English, it is very essential to have that if you are speaking English, the person who is listening should also know the English, right? Communication is possible only if you are speaking or communicating in that language which is the other person who is at the other end knows that language, right? Otherwise you cannot communicate. The first criteria is that what in whatever language you are talking should be understandable to the person who is in front of you, to whom you are communicating, right? So learning English can help you to communicate with other people who understand English beside the language you have been exposed to speaking the language from. For example, your mother tongue. In present time, a thorough knowledge of the language which communicates skill is very important in any occupation or to set up a business, right? To impress anybody, you should be able, right, to communicate in that language. In which language? The person who is comfortable with that language. Suppose the person who is in front of you, if he knows Bengali, and if you also know the Bengali, then you can talk with him in a very easy manner in the effective manner. I am talking about effective. You can talk in a very effective manner. You can impress him or her, right? So with that, with the help of effective communication, you can impress the people in your in wherever you are doing job, or suppose you are having a business, then also you can impress your customers, clients, right? So let's session 1. Let's start introduction to communication. Now let's see the detail about the communication. You probably hear people talking about communication all the time. Everyone needs it and wants it, right? But what exactly is communication? Let us try to understand. The word communication comes from the Latin word communicare, meaning to share. Obviously, communication means to share. You can see that communication is the sharing of information between two or more individuals or within a group to reach a common understanding. Obviously, you are communicating, you are sharing, you are delivering whatever you want to speak, so that the person at the other end will understand. Okay. Now, importance of communication. What all things are very important while you are communicating? Your ability to communicate clearly and share thoughts, feelings, and ideas will help you in all your relationship. Just we talked about, like if you are a businessman, or suppose if you are working somewhere in school also, if you are a student, then if you will speak in a very effective manner, then what? Everybody will be impressed, and in any competition you will always be invited, if you are having a effective speaking skills or communicating skills, everybody will want you to join, participate in such competitions, and in anchoring, suppose any annual function or any kind of such event will be there, then you will always be expected that you should be anchor in such competition, because in such competition always those students are selected who is having a very effective communication skills, right? So those who are having such skills will become very influential, right? Now, what all things are very important? Inform. You may be required to give facts or information to someone, for example, communicating the timetable of an exam to a friend. So, whatever information you are giving should be very, actual facts or information you will deliver to someone. Means point to point you are giving, right? That content of whatever you are speaking, that is very important. Influence. You may be required to influence or change someone in an indirect but usually important way. For example, negotiating with a shopkeeper to reduce the price, or helping a friend to overcome stress due to exam or any other reason. Suppose your friend is very, your friend is in stress that I have to face this competition, I have to, give such, I have to, I'm very afraid of giving exam. So if you want to make him comfortable, you want to reduce his stress, then here also your communication matters. how you are communicating, how you are influencing him, how you are helping your friend. It matters, right? The way you will um, whatever you will do to overcome his stress is very important. Here also your communication matters, right? That and suppose you are a businessman, and if you are having a very effective communication skill, then obviously more you can increase your customers, number of customers. So see, where are you going? I am going home. So this is information. If you are talking to someone, you are giving any information, and you are in reply you will give the this is the communication process. You are receiving information, giving information. If you are asking for information, as you can see, it's very easy to understand this through the figure. Express feelings. Talking about your feelings is a healthy way to express them. For example, sharing your excitement about doing well in your exams, or sharing your feelings with your parents. And if you are expressing any feelings to your parents, that I am very happy, or I am not feeling well, whatever, according to the situation, whatever you are feeling, and so it is very important that you should be able to express it, right? Then only the person who is in front will understand. Getting? So what are all this? Importance of communication. The importance of communication means what you are delivering, what you are saying, that content. Second, how you are communicating, the influence, and the second is the express feeling. Third is the express feelings, right? Now next is elements of communication. What all elements are there in the communication? Communication is a two-way exchange of information, obviously two-way process, giving and receiving. You are saying something and another person is replying to you. So this is a two-way communication. Speaking and writing, no, these are the ways to someone, or examples of giving information. But you can give information by speaking or by writing, right? So reading and listening to someone are examples of receiving information. As you can see in this figure, the first one here. The communication process starts with the sender, right? Obviously, if you are going somewhere and you want to communicate with somebody, then first you will say the communication process starts with the sender. If you are asking something or telling something, means you are you will start the communication. So it starts with a sender, who is sending what? Information, right? A sender sends a message giving or asking for information, right? Now the other, a channel or path such as phone, face to face, how you are talking, phone to phone, face to face, or how? So medium, medium, or we can see channel, is used to transfer the message, right? Sender is sending message. Sender will send, starts with the sender. He will send a message. Now the thing is important, how he is sending, whether he is talking phone to phone or face to face, right? Yes, for what medium he is using to transfer the message, right? That is the third one. Now fourth, the message is received by the receiver. And now fifth, the receiver replies to the sender. Yes, suppose you are asking for a pen to somebody, so you are sending information that I want pen, right? And now face to face you are asking, so that is the channel or the medium through which you are talking. Now he will reply, yes, I have, take this, like this. So this is the sending and receiving information. Now next, perspective in communication. So what is perspective? Perspectives are the ideas, views, or fixing ways of thinking, right? These sometimes affect our communication. For example, if you have a fixed idea that your teacher or father is strict, even when they are being friendly, you may think they are scolding you even though they are polite, right? So it also depends upon your mentality, how you are thinking, right? And then on the basis of that you will in the way you will communicate with the person. In the same way, others may also fixed ideas about you, which affects whatever you say to them. Suppose the person to whom you are talking, how type of person that he is, like he's a very, he's having a rude behavior, or he immediately what get hyper. So in this way, you have to, what you have to do, you have to, on the basis of that, you create a mentality, and on the basis of the way that you communicate, right? Factors affecting perspectives in communication. So sometimes we are not able to communicate clearly because of the barriers that stop us for sharing and understanding messages. Some of these are summarized. So sometimes we are not able to, deliver our message, or communicate with anybody due to some barriers, obstructions, right? So what all obstructions we have while communicating? Let's see. The language, right? Language. In case of use of incorrect words, unfamiliar languages, and lack of detailed language can act as a barrier to communicate what one wishes to convey. For example, language can act as a barrier when an Indian who only knows Hindi and Chinese who has the knowledge of Mandarin only want to interact with each other. Suppose you want to communicate with a Chinese person. You know Hindi, you know only Hindi, and Chinese person knows only Mandarin language, right? They used to speak Mandarin or Chinese language, whatever. So he knows. So how you both of you will communicate? No, you will not be able to communicate properly, right? Because you are speaking Hindi, he is speaking. He will not understand Hindi, and you will not understand Mandarin, right? So it will be difficult for you to come. So language will become a barrier. Okay. Second, visual perception. Visual perception is the brain's ability to make sense of what we see through our eyes. For example, completing particular partially drawn pictures will visual perception, whereas they may be something else, right? Visual perceptions through pictures also give messages, right? Through pictures we also give messages. Suppose that picture is incomplete, right? So it will become the person at the other end will not be able to clearly define the message, clearly retrieve the message, right? Visual perception is the brain's ability to make sense of what he will. Suppose we will take an example of pie chart, graphs, right? So with that also we give information. So if anybody if that is not that is partially drawn, the complete sense of it, that will not be the other person will not be able to get, right? He will imagine something else, and it can be something else, right? So that is the visual perception, right? It can be a barrier. Next, past experience. Whatever I know, if suppose letting our earlier experience stops us from understanding or communicating clearly. For example, the shopkeepers cheated me last time, let me be careful, or I scored low marks in my maths exam, so I am scared to ask and answer question in a class, right? So on the past experience also our mental mentally we will prepare ourselves based on our past experience, that suppose I scored low marks in my last exam, so I will feel bad, and on the basis of that I will not be able to ask, I will feel inferior in class, and I will not ask a answer in a class, or I will not ask questions as I will be noted. So in this all are what? It affects your communication. These all are barriers. You will not be able to communicate properly. These all will work as a barrier, right? Prejudice. Fixed ideas and such as thinking no one in my class like me may stop a student from communicating openly in the class. Again, just suppose such as no one in my class likes me. Such feeling will develop inside any person. Then what will happen? He is assuming himself something, right? And on the basis of that, that will low confidence will be there inside that person, right? So it is also a kind of barrier. Feelings. I am not feeling well, therefore I don't want to talk. Such kind of barriers will be there related to feelings. Environment, noise or disturbance in the surrounding may make communication difficult. Suppose you are talking to a friend in a function where there is a loud music being played by the orchestra, so it will make difficult for you to communicate or talk, or whatever you are it will make act as a barrier between you and the listener, right? Now next is personal factors. Personal factors. Personal factors include your own feeling, habits, and way of thinking. What is your quality of what is all are your feelings, your habits, right? On the basis of that, suppose you feel fear and low confidence kind of person, then that will also affect your communication, right? Whenever you will talk, you will not talk confidently. So that's it. That is the personal factor. Now culture. Signs which have a different meaning in different cultures, such as showing a thumb may mean good job done for someone, but may be insulting to others, right? So the same sign can be good for can be a different meaning. So basis on the basis of culture, it can also be a barrier for communication. You are saying something else, you using the kind of any symbol, and the person at the other end will understand it in a different manner. So that is can also be a barrier, right? Now next is effective communication. So effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principle of professional communication skills. This can be abbreviated as 7 C's, right? Effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principle of professional communication skills. So what all these 7 skills are? 7 C's. Let's see. Clear. Whatever you are want to deliver should be very clear, concise, point to point, concrete, very good words you should use, correct, in correct order, coherent, complete, and courteous, right? So all these are the 7 C's. These are further explained in figure. Clear. Be clear about what you want to say. Use simple words and say only what is needed. Concise, point to point, right? Use exact word and phrase, right? To give some power to your whatever you are saying, use some phrases related to it, right? And use exact words. Use correct spelling, language, and grammar. Use correct spelling, language, and grammar. Your words should make sense and should be related to the main topic. Okay, that is coherent. Complete. Your message should have all the needed information. It should not be incomplete. Always complete means then only the message can be derived, right? Whatever you are saying, the person at the other end will understand it clearly only if that message is complete, all the information is given. Otherwise different meaning can be derived. Courteous. Be respectful, friendly, and honest. Okay. Now there are different methods of communication which include non-verbal, verbal, and visual, as you can see. Second is verbal communication. Okay. So this will be discussed in in detail in the next chapter, but let's discuss it little bit now. So there are different methods of communication which include non-verbal, verbal, and visual. So what are all this? Non-verbal. Non-verbal means, as if you will. So in verbal communication, what happens? Is the act of using photo.